Dear students, I'd like to welcome you on this short video trying to answer your questions. I will start with question 1. Are we allowed to use the online version of FADP and GDPR? For example, German version for better understanding of the FADP and the GDPR? Answer to this question is yes, of course. You can use everything you have on Ilias, everything you find on the internet. As you know, it's open book and even open net, so everything you find you can take and you can use for answering the questions in the exam. Question 2. Are we allowed to answer the question in German as in other modules? Here as well, yes, of course, you can do. You are allowed to answer the question in German. Of course, I would prefer if it would be in English, but of course, for better understanding, it's absolutely okay if you answer in German as well. Then question 3, is there a convention how to cite the laws? If yes, are we supposed to apply this convention? There are different possibilities to cite a law, to cite an article or paragraph of an article. I don't mind how you do it, but you should do it always the same, and it should be readable and understandable for me. So you can, for example, cite an article, Article 5, Para 1 of the FADP, for example, or you can cite it as FADP, Article 5, Para 1, or in the short form, FADP 5 and in Roman letters 1, 2, 3, or whatever you want to cite. So there are different ways how to cite, and that's okay for me if it's understandable. So we go to question 4. If we want to reference or cite an article, would you prefer to copy the article in our answers, or is it sufficient if we cite them and draw the conclusions out of the context? Well, of course, you don't have to copy the whole article in your answer. It's absolutely sufficient if you just cite the article and, of course, if you draw the conclusions out of this article with the context, with the question. It would not be sufficient if you just would write the articles in the answers. You have to explain, you have to give a proper answer, and then it's okay. But you don't have to write all the article in the answer. Okay, now question 5. In the mock exam assignment 2, we need further laws such as the Constitution, ECHR, etc. If we need such laws in the exam, you provide us with the necessary materials, or are we supposed to look for materials in the internet? If special laws are asked, or if you need special laws for your answers, you will get the necessary information within the question or other ways, so you don't have to look for this material in the internet. 6th and last question. In certain sample solutions, as for example in assignment 3, I'm starting introducing the content of the AIA, the European AI Amendment. So this was not explicit part of the task. Generally, you would appreciate if we start with an introduction to such an act or law and give first an overview before we start to answer the question. Here I can say no, You don't have to give an introduction or an overview. You can go straight forward and answer the question with the necessary information, with the necessary citing of the articles and your conclusions out of these articles. That's enough for answering the question. Okay, so have a good time, have a good Christmas time, have a good New Year, and let's see you again at the exam. Thank you very much.